President John Dramani Mahama has already ordered a full-scale investigation into the incident. Following this incident, we in Parliament have noted a desperate attempt by the MPP minority in Parliament to politicize the matter. The MPP falsely claims that there is a so-called upsurge in political violence in the country. They also created a misleading impression that the unfortunate demise of the miners is as a result of political violence. The NDC Majority Caucus in Parliament condemns the desperate attempt by the MPP Minority Caucus to politicize the unfortunate development in Obuasi. Instead of sympathizing with the bereaved families and applauding government proactiveness, the NPP minority is dabbling in cheap politics. Ladies and gentlemen, it is obvious that NPP is yet to recover from the shock of its monumental defeat, and as such, they are engaging in cheap politicking. We urge them to come to terms with the resounding defeat that they suffered in the last election and allow the 2-week-old government to steer the affairs of state in line with the mandate of the people of Ghana. Finally, we wish to assure the people of Ghana that pursuant to the directive of His Excellency the President, impartial, timely, and efficient investigation would be carried out in due course in the matter that has just happened at Obuasi.
We only started working from this premises yesterday, and so you're among the first visitors to be received, and I want to thank you for your kind congratulations. As you said, during the campaign, we had the opportunity to meet some of you when we met with the clergy of the Volta region. And on that occasion, you prayed for us that God should guide us safely through the campaign, and also God should grant our heart's desire. For those two requests, I'm happy to report that God listened to you and granted them. We crisscrossed the length and breadth of this country, drove more than 30,000 kilometers during the campaign without incident, not a single scratch to any individual. And so for that, we thank the Almighty. Aside from that, our heart's desire, everybody knows what it was to achieve victory in the elections. And today, here we are. God granted that wish too. And so we want to thank you for the prayers you said for us. We know that Ghana is not the beacon of democracy and a peaceful oasis of stability as it is without the intercessory prayer that's offered by people of all faith to Almighty God to continue to prosper our nation. And I know that God's favor continues to be on our country, and that is why we're fortunate to be able to go about our day-to-day activities in peace, unlike in many other countries. We thank God for the peaceful coexistence we have between religions in our country. It's not the same in many places. In many places, religion has become the instrument of strife and division amongst people, but not so in Ghana. In Ghana, we live in peace, we interact as people of different faith, and I think that is a blessing that God has given. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman, distinguished ministers of state, distinguished staff of the presidency, national executives of our party, family and friends of the newly sworn-in ministers. Exactly 2 weeks ago, I took the same solemn oath before the people of Ghana that was taken by others before me to assume the leadership of this country as president. During the campaign before the elections, I made a pact with the people of Ghana to nominate ministers to my government within 14 days of being sworn in, and I had every intention of keeping that promise. 14 days after I took the oath of office, which was yesterday, that promise stood fulfilled. I had presented to the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament names of 23 sector ministers, 3 ministers of state, and 16 regional ministers for the approval of Parliament. So far, I've named 42 ministers of state and regional ministers to begin the urgent task of resetting our dear country, Ghana, which has suffered in recent years from severe crisis in many sectors. As the ministers are approved by Parliament and as they are sworn in, I'll proceed to name deputy ministers for some of the ministries, which will bring the total ministers to 60, as I promised the people of Ghana. This will make this government Ghana's leanest and I believe most efficient government ever in history. I've just sworn you in the first 6 ministers who are responsible for perhaps the most critical sectors of our national life, especially economy and the energy sector. In economy, the people of Ghana are looking up to you, Dr. Forson, to reduce inflation and make life more affordable, reduce the cost of living. They're looking up to you to bring our debt level to sustainable, to bring our national debt to sustainable levels. They're looking to you to stabilize our currency, and they're looking to you to rein in the deficit so that we can achieve macroeconomic stability. To you, the Honorable Minister of Energy, Mr. John Ablai Jinapon, Ghanaians are looking for stable and efficient power supply.
What is the difference between the ordinary thief and a political thief? Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number two, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our job, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame.
Government is broke, government is broke. The people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are 2 types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
All right, good morning. Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us on Good Morning Ghana. My name is Awudu Moro. Thank God for being alive and kicking. And we're back again to bring you the best of morning conversation about what's happening in our country, of course, triggered by the the big stories that have been reported by the newspapers in this country. So straight away, of course, to my Muslim friends and my Muslim colleagues, I'd want to say Juma Mubarak. Today is Friday, and I'm sure that most of us will be going to the mosque to pray to Allah for his undying love and support that he's granted all of us. Anyway, so I'll go straight to the Daily Graphic. I'll start straight with the Daily Graphic. And Daily Graphic today's reporting, it says, Agbogbloshi reclaimed land under siege. Scrap dealers, onion sellers occupy 80-acre land. And there's also Parliament approved 6 more ministerial nominees. Minister pledges reforms to tackle illegal fishing. Mahama Yariga takes over as majority leader. The new weekend crusading guide, Asansu Boache spikes government on post-election violence. There's been part of international pressure to end Iran's ambition, Israeli ambassador. Czech envoy, delegation call on Cadet chief. There's spiritual influences caused our loss, MPP. Okoboy denies theft allegation in viral video. There's also Kwewu Ejuamwa town folks agog for Wirimpimhene over construction of new palace. Thursday in office, Finance Minister visits key agencies. The Insight newspaper. Proposed privatization of ECG. Pool says no. GJ issues ultimatum to the police. Ekufado and Western Sahara, the parting shot of a quizzling. CSOs worried over systematic insecurity and human rights violations in mining communities. The Herald newspaper. Chief of Staff demands list of Ekufado's last minute recruits onto government payroll. Fidelity Bank breaks silence on a multi-million gold for dollar woes. Details agreement with Ghana's Minerals Fund amid allegations of financial mismanagement. Jolo chiefs seek political representation after decades of neglect. John Mahama asked to investigate MIF's $1.08 billion cash saga. The Daily Statesman. Government donates 1 million cedis to Kantamanto market fire victims. MPP engages stakeholders in 2024 elections. NDC thugs attack GRA, protest against new Commissioner General. 24-hour economy to boost 1D, 1F initiative. There's a Okoboy denies theft allegation. Daily Post. Chief of Staff demands payroll audits. Orders government institutions to submit new employee data. Mahama Yariga, Kweku Rickett-Hagan, others lead NDC majority's new leadership. President Mahama has no plans to cancel free SHS, Haruna Idrisu. Ruth Delacedo, appointed acting Deputy Director General of National Service. Ruth is the Deputy Youth Organizer of the NDC. The Catholic Standard. Teachers must exhibit decency, live worthy lives. That's Akese to deacons, FR Akese to deacons. And then the second commissioners with U.S. bishops. And there's also a very interesting editorial. It says, towards the enduring free senior high school policy we all want. High illiteracy, cause of farmer-herder conflicts. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll look at the details of the stories as been reported by the newspapers. And I'll also let you in on who my guests are for the show.
Again.
Hello, thank you for calling MTN.
This is Jerry, Jolly J for short.
How may I help?
I'm not happy with you guys at all. You've been giving Bongo gifts all the time.
Who is Bongo?
Oh, Bongo, my friend. You purchased in my room.
Oh.
You're giving free gifts, but I don't.
That's MTN rewards, talk, text, browse, and more, and you get to redeem free call time or data by simply dialing *550#. And on Fridays, you can even get extra special rewards like food vouchers, shopping discounts, and much more.
Didn't tell me anything. Would you like to know how I got the name Jolly J?
That won't be necessary, Mr. Jolly. Calling customer care service doesn't give you points.
I'll call my mom. I'll call my grandma. I'll call my ex. That girl can talk, Papa. Hello, Mama. So what's the topic for today?
MTN.
Attention all farmers. Are you ready to take your crops to the next level? Introducing 3 effective organic composts that will revolutionize your farming practices. ACAP, KCAP and IRECOP brings to you the ultimate solution for your fertilizer needs. Introducing the ACAP Grade A, KCAP Equiafua Jinkwa, and the IRECOP with cocoa blends, palm blend and mulch. These are made from locally sourced municipal solid waste, and these are the perfect choice for sustainable farming. Join the organic revolution today. Boost your crop yield, improve soil health, and support sustainable farming practices. Choose ACAP, KCAP, and IRECOP organic compost for a greener and bountiful harvest. For your purchase and more information, call the numbers on your screen. Our products are endorsed by COCOBOD, Planting for Food and Jobs, and the Ministry of Food and Agriculture.
Great music, excellent service, great company, and meats galore. The Alisa Friday Barbecue. It's fun on Fridays at Alisa.
Sometimes the unexpected happens and the hero falls down in his own story. But he needs not stay down for long. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance is your trusted health partner. Whether an individual building a business, with Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern. For the best health insurance solutions for corporate institutions, groups and associations, families and individuals, choose Cosmopolitan Health Insurance from our over 700 accredited health service providers nationwide. Call us on 0302 540 668 or 0501 678 547 for all your health insurance solutions. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern.
Look around. Home also need a makeover. Mine clearly does. So we went to Ashroom and found the Como collection. It had everything we're looking for and more. Matching furniture for the entire home, designed with you in mind.
Where's Como collection? Dressing up is just a breeze. Always ready with a perfect accessory.
A magic dressing mirror. One look and you're ready to face the world. Or at least the kids.
A bed perfect for young men who want
a table that turns into a treasure chest.
And finally, a sofa with this grand TV unit for family time at home.
Head over to any Ashphone store now and discover the new Como collection. Ashphone, feel it, know it.
Customer, I don't know who say.
Malaria been actually me, man. No more brand, man. Still.
One give us.
Give us a solid.
Yeah. Sorry. What lost so give us here and turn down.
But you got some. But tomato give us the and turn down.
Give us about me, sir.
Me patron the and turn down.
Customer. Give us that now. Back.
Onuya kayo, oba wa fa furo nom. De o ma no bonu fo nom. Akwada wa ni mfie dumie no ono nso nom.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman, distinguished Ministers of State, distinguished staff of the Presidency, national executives of our party, family and friends of the newly sworn-in ministers. Exactly 2 weeks ago, I took the same solemn oath before the people of Ghana that was taken by others before me to assume the leadership of this country as president. During the campaign before the elections, I made a pact with the people of Ghana to nominate ministers to my government within 14 days of being sworn in, and I had every intention of keeping that promise. 14 days after I took the oath of office, which was yesterday, that promise stood fulfilled. I had presented to the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament names of 23 sector ministers, 3 ministers of state, and 16 regional ministers for the approval of Parliament. So far, I've named 42 ministers of state and regional ministers to begin the urgent task of resetting our dear country, Ghana, which has suffered in recent years from severe crisis in many sectors. As the ministers are approved by Parliament and as they are sworn in, I'll proceed to name deputy ministers for some of the ministries, which will bring the total ministers to 60, as I promised the people of Ghana. This will make this government Ghana's leanest and I believe most efficient government ever in history. I've just sworn you in the first 6 ministers who are responsible for perhaps the most critical sectors of our national life, especially economy and the energy sector. In economy, the people of Ghana are looking up to you, Dr. Forson, to reduce inflation and make life more affordable, reduce the cost of living. They're looking up to you to bring our debt level to sustainable, to bring our national debt to sustainable levels. They're looking to you to stabilize our currency, and they're looking to you to rein in the deficit so that we can achieve macroeconomic stability. To you, the Honorable Minister of Energy, Mr. John Ablai Jinapon, Ghanaians are looking for stable and efficient power supply. They are looking to you to accelerate our upstream and downstream petroleum sectors in order that Ghanaians can reap the benefit of the potential that God has given us. They're also looking to you to manage the energy sector debt and be able to remove it as an albatross around the neck of our economy. To you, Mr. Eric Opoku Agric, Ghanaians are looking for food security, and they're looking for cheap and affordable food to fill their stomachs. To you, Mr. Govans Abuja, you probably have one of the most difficult jobs. Everybody in Ghana is complaining about bad roads. You have the duty not only to maintain existing roads, but to provide new roads for.
All right, so welcome back. This is Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. So we're going to kickstart with our conversation and looking at some of the big stories in the newspapers. Let me say that my guests have joined me gracefully. As I keep saying, they definitely have taken time off their very, very busy schedule to join us this morning. So Elikem Kotoko is the Deputy National Organizer of the NDC. Elikem, good morning, and thank you very much for accepting to join us on Good Morning Ghana. How are you? It's been a while. Yeah. Oh, sorry, your microphone is apparently is still off, so if you can switch the microphone on. Yes. So, yes. Good to see you. Good morning. Good to see you. And thank you very much, and it's good to have you here. Kofi Tonto, a very good friend of mine also, is also here. He's aide to former Vice President Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia, and also obviously the presidential candidate of the NPP in the just ended elections. Kofi Tonto, good morning. It's good to see you.
Yeah, good morning.
How are you?
Very well.
I realize you like wearing these fugus.
Yes.
What is it? What's the story behind that?
Well, I think, I always say, Ghana, there are things that bring us together. And one of them is food.
Right.
Another one is music.
Right.
Movies. And then, our clothing.
Right.
And so.
And football.
But football right now has reneged on its duties. So it's at the back burner for now. But really, clothing is one of the things that bring us together.
Right.
Traversing all parts of the country.
Okay.
Watching videos on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, it becomes evidently clear that food brings us together.
Yeah.
And clothing, music, irrespective of the person's background.
Yeah.
We can have our differences, all right, but you still see an Ewe eating fufu, and fufu is their favorite delicacy.
Right.
You see an Asante whose favorite food is wache, etc. So, I've had a lot of people sending me some of these fugus as gifts.
Right.
And so I used to have absolutely none of them. Now I have over 10 of them. So it's become a decision for me to wear them.
It looks good on you.
As often as I can.
It looks good on you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it looks good on you. Elikem, I haven't seen you in a while, and we haven't also talked in a while. And when the appointment started trickling in, there were some people, friends of ours, mutual friends, who were asking, Charlie, how far? Elikem, we know here Elikem in name yet. And so I should have just put a call through to you to ask you whether there was something in the horizon, but I haven't done that. But what's happening? Is there anything in the works? Oh, this is your first interview in 2025. I see.
First female vice president. Also, to congratulate the president again for walking the talk. Listen carefully, he's beginning to fulfill his promises, making sure that his cabinet will he gets Vice Ghanaians with the leanest and most efficient government. 60. He's appointing only 60 ministers So he's living by his words. If you look at the caliber of persons he's appointed as ministers also, there's no question about any one of them. He's also going ahead to make appointments to the various state institutions, amongst other things. It is instructive to tell for all of us that Rome was not built in the day, and even the appointments cannot be done within just 2 or 3 weeks. Only God knows, maybe up to the 6th month, there could still be appointments being made. There's a party to run, there's a government to also function. And so we'll still keep functioning and make sure that whatever is needed to be done for the president to succeed is done. Mind you, when His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the NDC government succeeds, it is success for all of us, even the non-NDC people, because when the economy becomes good, when there's stable economy, or when there's food prices go down, stable electricity, amongst other things, everybody benefits without party colorations. And so, yes, I think His Excellency is still in the process doing all what is expected of him. I know Ghanaians are hoping to hear that within the first 120 days, the promises he made will be fulfilled. I have no doubt in my mind that he will be doing that. The finance minister also made it clear that in his first budget to be submitted, the promises of cancellation of the nuisance taxes, the e-levy, amongst other things, will be things he will propose. And this is just to make sure that Ghanaians, as they have believed in us, we will do exactly as we told them we will. It is not the case where we will be arrogant because we have now gotten power and we'll tell the people, you can do whatever you want to do until the next 4 years. So there's no doubt President Mahama is on course. I am very happy with what we've seen so far. I'm sure that is what you also are feeling. And I'm equally happy. I want to believe Kofi is feeling the same too. Because this is a new era. A different wind of change and hope is blowing now. And you can tell that the Ghanaian
I know that Elikem is a fantastic public relations person. So you see, I asked him about whether there's something in the works, whether there's something in the horizon, and then he decided to thank his party supporters and blah blah blah. You know, that's how he's been treating me. You know, he's done exactly the same thing now. Massa, it's something in the works.
You know the appointing authority. You know the appointing authority. The president is still in the process, and there are still a plethora of positions out there.
Okay.
So it is only up to the president to decide where he wants to place who. But don't forget that before whatever or wherever you are even placed, you are still in a certain position. I am very lucky to still be holding my position as deputy national organizer of the party, and I'm functioning effectively where I am.
But before you go ahead, there are two fundamental concerns that have come up.
Yeah.
And one of it has to do with some appointments that have been made. And which appointments some party supporters feel that are not right.
Yeah.
Because they are not, in fact, these persons who have been appointed are not party people.
Not known party
not
people.
Known party people. I like that. That's very important. They are not known party people. And in some cases, these party or these appointees have actually worked against the interests of the party.
Yeah.
And so there have been some upheavals and some pushback. Now, if you look at that's the first concern. The second concern is that we are also beginning to see some of the party leaders being drafted into government positions. So just today we've learned about, in fact, the newspapers reported about Ruth Sedo being the deputy youth organizer of the party. You have Pablo himself, Jojo Pariado, who is going as the minister for
youth empowerment and
youth empowerment and employment. Youth empowerment
and
right?
development.
And development, exactly. And then also you have
Director Legal,
Edudi,
Yaya Koku,
and so on and so forth.
Mary Osi.
Yes.
Malik
Basintale, who is now going as
Osman Ayariga.
Aha.
Yes.
So, and Osman is going to National Youth Authority, right?
Oh, okay.
Yes, National Youth Authority.
I haven't seen
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, the concern is that isn't the party risking weakening the machine that has produced this government?
Yeah.
you know, is that a legitimate concern? I just want to ask whether you think it's a legitimate concern, or you think that the party has what it takes to manage it in a way that keeps the party machinery still intact, working effectively, but at the same time, you know, government also doing what it's supposed to do.
Thank you so much. I'll take it from the last question.
Okay.
Yes, indeed, it's true that we've witnessed a few or more of party functionaries moving into government, which raises concern of worry for many that with this winning team that has been able to be put together to secure this resounding victory, which is a historic one, you don't change your winning team, there's reason to keep them. And so when there's a certain exodus of them from the party to government, genuinely there should be concerns about the possible weakening of the structures of the party. If, for instance, the entire youth department has been left as vacuum, and then others, and we cannot even tell what tomorrow will also bring, or even today. So yes, it's a genuine concern. However, do not forget that the NDC, I must say frankly, is not in short supply of effective and efficient machinery in terms of human resource. So some may go, new people will come, they may even be better than those who actually are leaving. I can say again confidently that you haven't seen the best of the NDC yet. The best of the NDC is yet to come and ahead of us. And so yes, for every onlooker or watcher, you would, at the goal, say this may not be so good an idea. But trust me, in that also creates an opportunity for other people to fill in the vacuum and also showcase what they have got to create more Malik Basintales, to create more Sami Jamfit, to create more Rutsador, more Pablo, more of myself, and many others, if the opportunity presents itself. And so there shouldn't be cause for worry anyways. The purpose for this particular team that was assembled, don't forget, was for the 2024 elections. Maybe in the 2028, the caliber of persons that will be needed again for that election will not require Pablo, may not require Rutsedor, may not require Sami, or may not require me. So every particular election is unique on its own and will be taken on its merit, and the caliber of men and women who will be assembled will be based on that elections. So yes, there is genuine concern about weakening the structure and all of that. But for instance, I can tell you authoritatively that the national chairman and the general secretary have made it very openly clear that they are not moving anywhere and will stay there. These are the two figureheads of the party. And so that alone even suffices for any worries regarding that. The other one you talked about is the people who are not known party persons.
Yes. Now, before you go ahead even with that, because there's a story directly related to that.
Okay.
I will read that story, and then you can look at the issue broadly in terms of some of the pushback we're seeing with some of the appointments and so on. But before we proceed with that, let me say that I've got some great news for you from MTN. MTN is proudly associated with the newspaper review segment of the Good Morning Ghana show. So MTN has some fantastic and some exciting news for you. It's simple. Try as much as possible to get your family relatives who live abroad to send you Momo directly, whether family relatives or friends. Let them send you Momo to your Momo account. And when they do, the good news is that you will be getting free 300 megabytes of data. Free 300 megabytes of data. So you can use to browse and watch Good Morning Ghana as well on your phone whilst you are in the office or you're somewhere you can't watch it because there's no television there. So that's the great news that I have for you. An exciting one as well. Something that can help you kick off 2025 in grand style. So that's the news I have for you from MTN, proudly associated with the newspaper review here on Good Morning Ghana. So let me quickly look at this story before you come in with your analysis of matters bordering on parties, foot soldiers' reaction on some of the appointments that have been made. So if you look at the Daily Statesman today, page 2, it says that some thugs associated with the National Democratic Congress besieged the offices of the Ghana Revenue Authority yesterday, causing chaos and intimidating employees of the State Revenue Agency. The group threatened to shut down the operations of GRA as part of a protest against the appointment of Anthony Kwesi Sapon, who is the acting Commissioner General. The rowdy group issued a statement before storming the premises, describing the presidential appointment as disappointing and demanding its immediate reversal. According to them, Mr. Sapon's affiliation with the opposition New Patriotic Party disqualifies him from serving under the NDC administration. Now, the protesters allege that Mr. Sapon's previous appointment to the Institute of Chartered Accountants, Ghana, ICAG, in 2020 by the then President, Akufo-Addo, was sufficient evidence of his political alignment. Now, they vowed to physically block Mr. Sapon from assuming office. We will not allow him to step foot in his office. This is a clear betrayal of NDC loyalists who have sacrificed for the party, one member declared during the chaos. This incident adds to the growing list of violent actions carried out by the NDC affiliated groups since the party reclaimed power in the December 2024 general elections. The immediate aftermath of the electoral victory was marked by widespread violence, with thugs attacking state institutions, locking up public offices, and forcibly evicting civil servants perceived to be aligned with the opposition. So, and it's not just this. There's also Reverend Engineer Fianco, who's been with the NCA for more than 10 years, serving in various capacities. He's also come under some serious scrutiny by party supporters and loyalists who feel and say that he's not cut out to be there because he superintended, of course, with Joe Anoche at the time, who was the NCA boss, the closure of XYZ Broadcasting Limited and Radio Gold. So it's just 2-1. So if you can just broadly put the two in context. What exactly is the issue?
Yeah, these concerns were raised. I recall having quite a number of calls in relation to this matter.
Right.
And I'm sure you agree with me with my strong presence on social media. It makes me so accessible to many of our comrades. I agree that they have genuine concerns when they feel that, for instance, in the case of Mr. Fianco, they have physical evidence of what he did under the erstwhile Akufo-Addo Bawumia regime, where he superintended over the direct closure of Radio Gold and other known NDC-affiliated media houses. And so I think that their concerns are genuine. They may need to be responded to by the appropriate authority as to what informed the decision. I am not aware yet if he has he been issued an appointment letter?
I don't have any
I haven't seen one yet.
Yeah, I haven't.
So maybe they have only had some rumor and feel that they need to stamp their authority immediately to nip it in the bud so they avoid any last-minute surprises. And I think also, in addition to that, was it one gentleman called Kenzo? I think VRA also.
Kenzo, yes, VRA.
Yeah, I don't know of his. I also heard that they said he's lobbying to be made the CEO. So one of our comrades posted him on Facebook. Then your national organizer and some other party people came there to write, that's Kenzo, our man, and all that. And that alone raised another eyebrow. Yes, Nana B. And co. So there are screenshots of that as well, for which reason people are protesting any attempt to...
You mean there's a post by Nana B?
Yeah, there was a post by somebody, and then Nana B and I think something Herehese also. They all came to, that's my man Kenzo and all that.
Sort of endorsing...
Sort of like, we know him.
A subtle endorsement of his affiliation with the MPP.
There was even the picture, he was with a certain gentleman I'm told was Nana B's aide. And so I do not know the two people, but I saw Nana B's post comment there, and the second person, I'll fetch it for you. So yes, I think the grassroots have a genuine concern, knowing in particular, I must be sincere, Kofi, you agree with me that after, when President Kufuor took over office, that was when this whole takeover thing began, and it has not augured well for our democracy. I recall when President Akufo-Addo took over office as well, too, it was the same. And I recall vividly, I was driving past his Nima residence and had my NDC paraphernalia in the car, and I was a bit, not malhandled, but I came under some severe or some pressure, but I just maintained my cool and drove through. And that is it. It's never been the best of approaches to doing things. And so when you set certain bad precedents, it becomes an albatross on your neck, and nip it in the bud is not an easy task, but we have to do it slowly. And so you agree again that the moment we won elections, our grassroots also felt immediately that this was time for revenge, tit for tat, and all that. And I have an old saying that, look, if an eye for an eye will make the world go blind, you who is poking mine first should know that I can also poke yours. Then we must all be ready to use the white cane. So I must say on authority here that the concerns of the grassroots
our comrades are very justified when they feel that certain characters who are trying to suddenly switch and get close to power are known NPP functionaries, etc. It is why I believe strongly that where we have gotten to in our democracy, maybe we should have an independent state institution that would keep records of membership of political parties. So that when you register with the NDC and I register with the NPP, or you vice versa, you register with the NPP and I register with the NDC, that record should be kept by an independent institution to be verified, so that you cannot be holding an NPP membership card, and when power switches, only for us to realize that you hold an NDC card as well, quickly discard the NPP card and want to now associate. This is very common, even in the business fraternity, etc. Some decide to stay away, some hold cards of the two political parties, which I know by law is a crime, because you cannot belong to two political parties at the same time. So they have genuine concerns. With regards to Mr. Sapon, the Institute of Chartered Accountants, I do not know him as well too. I saw screenshots of his appointment to the board. Yeah. I cannot also authenticate whether he was the presidential appointee or government representative there, or in what capacity he served on that board. So I cannot tell. But this calls for an awakening for our authorities to look into these matters and be sure, because you cannot take for granted the strength of the grassroots. Mind you, I have consistently said everywhere that there's no army that is bigger and stronger than the people. And so if you go to this world's toughest country, the army forms not even up to 2% of their population. And so no matter how tough and strong they are, if the entire population of 98% decide to descend on them, there's absolutely nothing they can do. So we may even have power now, but the grassroots can never be taken for granted, should never, and I believe will never be taken for granted. So I am convinced that in the subsequent days, hours, minutes, and so on, this matter will be looked in carefully to just make sure that we don't put people who will become enemies of state. Mind you further, this is not in any way to discredit anybody, but when people are competent and capable and are fair in the discharge of their duties, I believe that they can be allowed to contribute to nation building. Because mind you, I am so sure that there are certain characters within certain institutions. People may even know where they belong politically, but nobody cared at all whichever positions they are, because they believe that even though he's NPP, he makes sure he's principled and does things in the interest of state. Even though he's NDC, he does things in the interest of state. And if that be it, but when you are biased and visibly display that, then it becomes reason for worry. Like the video of Mr. Fiancol that was saying he is supervising. It may be that his role requires that he be the one to do so. And so there's definitely going to be some aggression, pain, and anger within our people that this was the man who supervised this activity. Or are we trying to make sure we use him also to do the same? The NDC doesn't engage in vendetta. I would only make sure that the right things are done. And so in that regard, I would also call on the comrades out there that they should restrain a little patience and tolerance. Their grievance and concern has been made known very loudly. It has found its way in the media space everywhere, print, online, wherever, and we are discussing it here as well. Everybody in authority by now has seen the concerns they are raising. It raises a red flag that you cannot even continue to look at certain characters that we know belong to the other side. People must be rewarded for their contribution towards this victory. And I do not think they are asking for too much. It is just a call in the right direction, and this must be adhered to or looked into to ensure there is peace and sanity, which must prevail at all times in governance.
Well, there was a suggestion you made earlier. I didn't quite get it at the time. This is a particular story I was reading. You were talking about the fact that we must have some kind of data on persons who are occupying public offices.
No, membership of political parties.
Right. So they must have like. So who should take? Who should take?
I don't know. It's just a thought. Who knows? It could be a subject matter for future discussions. Right. Where let's assume that Kofi is with the NPP, I am with the NDC, somebody is with the CPP. Okay. Now, someone with the CPP may also be having NPP card and NDC card at the same time. Okay. And someone who is not even known politically is just a business person, but is holding NPP membership card and holding NDC card. So as and when whichever one comes to power, he flashes out to say, oh, I'm a member. This is my contribution to this. And over here to, oh, once you win, I'm a member. Okay. But mind you, you cannot belong to two political parties. You must belong to only one. Right. And so if there are these things happening, then there must be probably a statutory body set up to verify that data of membership of political parties.
Okay.
So that tomorrow, when Party A wins power, the person from Party B doesn't come and flash his card and say, oh, I belong to Party A. Then when it's about a month to the next election, when Party A is getting out of power, he moves to Party B and says, oh, I'm a member, I've been contributing, this is my card. And so these are certain, I don't know if it will be classified as criminal under law,
right,
which must be looked at moving forward in terms of our advancement as a democracy, especially because of Africa.
So some kind of a party affiliation reference bureau.
Thank you.
Where you can go and
I think I need to sit down with you and we'll start drafting something.
You know, and validate and confirm people's affiliations and so on. And so that when you come to me and you say you belong here, it should be possible for me to just click.
And know.
I check, oh yes.
Then I check and I realize, your name is here and your name is there.
Yes, I get it. I get it.
You know?
I get it. I mean, it used to be so with people who with debtors, you know, where they go take money from here and then you know, they go there
some
when you
bureau
ask them.
kind of.
Yeah, you don't have any evidence that the person actually went to take money from another financial institution. So you give, and then by the time you realize he owes like 10 companies, you know. But now the Credit Reference Bureau will check that.
Makes it.
You know, and there's a whole data. And so but now say you don't owe, you check, hey, Maza, you owe, and then they'll deal with you. But
because for all you care, Kofi is making moves to move in.
let me just quickly read the story and I can bring Kofi, because you see these things are prevalent in both parties, where people will kick against a certain nomination or a certain appointment because they say the person either has worked against the party or the person is a known supporter of the opposition, you know, and so on and so forth. And sometimes you wonder what kinds of background check are done before some of these appointments, you know, or the quality of the background checks that are done, the consultations that happen even before the appointment happened. But if you look at the Herald newspaper today, for instance, it says that disagreement has erupted between the presidency and members of the NDC over the appointment of a suitable candidate for the position of a new Director General for the National Communications Authority. Now, the presidency recently named Edmond Irenchi Fianco, a seasoned technocrat at the NCA, as the new Director General. However, NDC supporters are rallying behind George Atabuating, a party stalwart credited for a significant role in the NDC's 2024 election victory, where he served as deputy to Dr. Odred Omaneboawa, the then Director of Elections and IT, who is on his way to become a defense minister. Now, supporters of Atabuating have expressed anger, threatening demonstration over the appointment of Fianco. They associate Fianco with controversial actions, including leading the closure of Radio Gold and Radio XYZ in May 2019, during the New Patriotic Party administration. They accused Fianco of leading a team of NC officials and police officers to Radio Gold to shut the station down on the orders of President Akufo-Addo, the Minister of Communication Eslausu Ekufu, and Joe Anochi, the then Director General. Now, these closures of the stations leading to the loss of jobs, illness, and death, justified on grounds of expired licenses, remained a sore point for NDC supporters as the stations were seen as pro-NDC platforms. Now, Atabuating, who previously served as CEO of the National Information Technology Agency, that's NITA, was reportedly assured the NCA position following the NDC's electoral victory. His supporters argue that his party loyalty and experience make him a more suitable candidate for the role. Now, Edmond Irenchi Fianco is a reverend, though. The man is a reverend of the Methodist Church, and is accusing of not just leading the operators, but also going on radio and TV stations to justify the closure and threatening to allocate the 90.5 frequency of Radio Go to another company. So, Kofi, this is not new to you. This is not new to you. It's
first of all,
Moro,
let me put this on record.
Okay.
This will probably be the fourth time I'm saying this.
Okay.
I've said it on other
media
platforms. And I've said that as a political party, the MPP, we do not wish for John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency, to fail. You know, when my boss, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, conceded on the faithful Sunday after the election, he addressed the nation, and in that address, he made a statement. And that was quite instructive. He said, we are not going to be a destructive opposition. Essentially, what he was communicating was that we want to see Ghana do well in the next 4 years. We want Ghana to attain some growth in the next 4 years. So certainly, we don't need Mahama to fail to come back. We can still work hard, present our case and our ideas to Ghanaians and be able to come back. Ghanaians have a right to say that, yes, John Mahama has done well, but we feel that at this point we want to go on a particular direction, and the MPP is the political party that can take us on that direction. So the whole idea that as a political party we must necessarily work extremely hard for Mahama to fail so we can come back to power, for me, it's archaic and it must not be encouraged. I'm saying that to lay the foundation for the argument I want to make. You see, the NDC went to the good people of Ghana to demand for the powers or for the ability or the decision for Ghanaians to run this country. When they went to Ghanaians, they presented a manifesto. And the manifesto, arguably, was of ideas of things they want to do to make Ghana a better place for all of us. There was nowhere in the manifesto that said that when they come, they want to seek revenge of the things MPP did to them. Alikem, if there was, you can correct me. There was absolutely nowhere in that manifesto that indicated that give us power so we can revenge what the MPP did to us.
In fact, on the contrary, the manifesto talks about reset, which is let's do things differently.
Exactly.
Yeah, on the contrary.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it is imperative for members of the NDC to understand, and understand rightfully so, that the mandate given to John Dramani Mahama and then Madam Jane Nano Poku Hajiman is for them to make our lives better, not to seek revenge. And then when you raise this point of seeking revenge, you know, my brother Lekim skillfully did it. He did it skillfully. But the other people, they will just go and find videos and screenshots and stories of what the NPP did. Yes, the NPP and members of the NPP engaged in excesses in 2017. It was on the back of these excesses that we all said we should what? Enact a law called the Vigilante Act. So we enacted the Vigilante Act to curb these excesses. And that came from pressure from the civil society, from NDC, from John Mahama, that look, enough is enough. We can no longer have these excesses. Therefore, let's enact a law to curb it. We enacted the law, and arguably, we haven't experienced any of such things until the election or post-elections. And we've had all these acts of violence, all these acts of takeover, and all these acts of this individual doesn't belong here and must not be here. Yesterday, young people of the NDC besieged the premises of GRA. Their argument is that they don't want the CEO, so they want him out. That is not the promise you made to Ghanaians, Elekem. It's not, and I'm glad at least you have condemned that path of doing things. You must stick to the promise you made to Ghanaians, which promise was, we are going to make your lives better. We are going to ensure that food prices go down. We have food security. We are going to ensure that we have economic stability. We are going to ensure that we create jobs. Those were the promises. So when I see a letter from the chief of staff going to various government agencies demanding that they provide a list of Ghanaians who were employed, emphasis on Ghanaians, who were employed post-December 7th, it begs the question, to do what?
You mean the payroll data?
The payroll data. To do what? It's an example of what the young people are doing on the streets, except this is done in a refined manner. What the chief of staff, Julius Debra, is doing is equivalent
to what the young people are doing, going into how various state institutions and demanding that people shouldn't be there. Except that he is doing it with a pen. My point is, you were voted to come and fix our problems, to give us jobs, to give us peace of mind. Look, I have been a diplomat, so I know what goes into providing security for this country. I have been in meetings where decisions are taken to make sure the three of us can sit here peacefully and do what we are doing. You know, one thing I agree with Elikem on is this. Look, I will not take a position from John Dramani Mahama. And I would not do so not because I'm not competent. I have multiple backgrounds, stemming 17 years of professional experience as a young man, because I started working in corporate America at a very young age, 17 years. But I will not take a position from John Dramani Mahama because I campaigned against his vision. I mounted podiums and platforms to say that I don't believe in his vision. So if you are an MPP person or a person appointed by the MPP, it can be safely assumed that you were against his vision. So how can you be against somebody's vision and then once the person comes to power, you want to maintain power or you want to stay in power? So Elikem, that is where you have to take the argument from. The argument must be taken from the angle that President Mahama campaigned with a message, and he has to execute that message. And he can only execute that message with people who believe in that message. You see, competence is one thing, but you cannot execute something you don't believe in. And that is what, as young people, as members of the NDC, you must champion. That it shouldn't be because somebody closed down a station. He closed down a station. What did Radio Go do for the station to be closed? Nobody has stated that issue. It's always, he closed the station. Was it only Radio Go that was closed? Why was Radio Go closed? What was the offense? You haven't delved into that. Oh, he closed radio station. Was he the decision maker or was he the implementer? If he's an officer of the company and the board and management takes a decision to close Radio Gold, and it is his job to go and close it, even if he's NDC, he will go and close it unless he doesn't want to keep his job. Is that not so? So it's not enough to say that he closed Radio Gold. And Elikem even alluded to it, that it may have been his job to do that. And I agree. In fact, I believe very well that it was his job to do that. So let's separate the issues. Now, if there is evidence that Reverend Franco is an MPP person, then I will totally agree. Totally agree. Because you cannot execute a vision you don't believe in. You cannot. Let's not mince words. You know, you cannot execute a vision you don't believe in. But if he's not an NDC, an MPP person, and he's a technocrat, a technical person with the right expertise, and he was only executing his job, what really is his crime? The other gentleman from VRA, Kenzo, I don't know him. I've never met him.
So in the case of Fianco, I think that one of the arguments that I've heard people make is that after listening to the concerns that were raised by the NDC at the time when Radio Gold and XYZ were closed down, remember that it wasn't just NDC that was against the closure of Radio Gold and XYZ. We had
Civil Society,
Media Foundation for West Africa. There was the Imanis of this world and so on. There were some other CSOs who felt that it was a bit high-handed. Now, the argument, as I've heard from reading on social media and listening to some of the commentaries and the expressions or the commentaries that are being made, or the arguments that have been made on media, some media platforms, both traditional and new media, which is social media, is that if indeed Engineer Reverend Fianco was in principle against the closure of these media stations because he felt that the grounds or the basis upon which these media houses were going to be closed down were unacceptable, he could have, as a matter of principle, resigned his position and said, look, I cannot do this. Now, whether or not that kind of expectation will be fair to him or not is another conversation we can have. But they will tell you that if Mr. Fianco had resigned from his position as whatever when he was at NCA, today the party people wouldn't have a problem rewarding him for taking those principles stance. So I don't know what you make of that kind of argument.
Look, let's stop measuring people with a yardstick that we will not even measure ourselves with.
Right.
How many NDC people will quit a job or resign because they were told to do something
that they
disagreed with? How many people will do that? The man has family. We all go to our workplaces. There are aspects of our jobs that we may not necessarily align with our management, but we may have to execute that particular assignment. Emphasis on that particular assignment. A board has taken a decision. And that's why I said, if there is evidence to suggest that Mr. or Reverend Fianco did what he did on the basis of political allegiance, then certainly, first of all, he has no business being there.
Okay.
Sitting on NCA and taking political decisions. NCA is not a political outfit. If there is evidence that he's a politician, he's an MPP person, I will be the first, and I've just said it here. In fact, I've said it at other platforms, that our people at various institutions who were appointed politically, you took that role because you believed in Nanado's vision. And you are likely to have campaigned against John Dramani Mahama because you didn't believe in his vision. On that basis, you must do the needful thing, step aside so people who believe in that vision come on board and help him execute. This is not just a Ghanaian thing, it's a global phenomenon. Look, there are individuals who are even hired on corporate boards and hired as corporate CEOs who will step aside because of a decision that they don't believe in.
Ideological differences.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about technical implementation. I'm talking about ideological position.
I get it.
So somebody may say, oh, but you just said Fianco. Fianco's had a technical decision to implement. That's different from ideological position of a corporate entity.
That's why, I get it. And that's why you think that it must be a bit more, the analysis of the situation must be a bit more nuanced.
Far nuanced.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Than just, because he's implemented something and so it makes him an enemy of, But the thing about it is that usually when emotions are concerned, people don't have a lot of time to have these kinds of conversations.
Exactly. But see, let's not forget that NCA, the boss himself has resigned.
Yes, Joe Anochi himself.
Joe Anochi has resigned.
Yes.
So that tells you Joe Anochi believes in the point that I'm making.
Right.
He realizes that he doesn't believe in Mohammed's vision.
I don't belong here.
In fact, he has campaigned against Mohammed's vision.
I get it.
So he stepped aside. Samia Oku has done it. YE has done it. Just a few days ago, Akwasi Awuah at PMMC worked with Sami Jemfi, stepped aside, gave him all the support. That is how it ought to be.
But these things have a way of just putting a lot of pressure on civil and public servants. Because if some decisions are being taken and it's going to hurt the other party, even if I'm a member of that political party, because I work in that institution, I will be blamed someday for those decisions that have been taken by that institution I work with, even if I may not be fully responsible for it. It's going to put a lot of our public servants, especially those who are aspiring for, certain positions once there's change of power. But I think that we
so let me wrap up on this.
Please,
More.
so that we can move to
just very quickly, let me wrap up on this.
Okay.
Look, the NDC must get this and get it clear. Ghana belongs to all of us. It was a decision that at this material moment, we feel, and we can argue so, that Ghanaians voted because they feel your ideas are superior or they are angry at MPP at a higher level, not at a granular, well-analyzed level. Just, we can assume that. So you have been given the mandate to rule. 1, take away vengeance. Take away revenge. That is not why you have been voted for. 3, take away the hooliganism. Look at what happened in Obuasi. And nobody can tell me those young people who perished. Unfortunately. Okay. All right. Yeah, we did. Yeah.
We'll look at that story. We'll look at the Obuasi story because it's been captured by the Daily Statesman. And I think you held a news conference yesterday, I believe so.
Yeah, Richard did. Yeah.
Richard Ihagba did. So we'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll look at the press conference that you held yesterday amongst some of the issues that you've raised. And then we'll also look at the Mahama Yariga. And it looks like Elikam has something to say briefly. But before you do, I beg you, let's take this break. So we'll take a short break. When we come back, Elikam will do a quick rebuttal, and then we'll move to the MPP presser yesterday. This is Good Morning, Ghana.
Guys, so I got this app. It's called Ayoba. It's a chat app that helps me with beauty tips and cooking tips. A super app that feeds me music and the latest sports content. I even use it for my studies. And the good news is I don't need to use my data bundle because I'm on MTN. Chale, the app just did be.
Ayoba, the all-in-one app that lets you chat, call, read, play, pay, and listen. Use Ayoba at no data cost on MTN. Download Ayoba now.
Who are you? Who are you? Charlie, I'll be you from the future. Who doesn't sleep on that slice of bready poor mattress anymore? Don some slippers, then follow me.
You just buy the mattress we did it from there.
Yeah?
That'll be the mattress where the dead for.
Wait, what are you doing? Wow! No damage at all. Not only durable, but also super comfortable. Come on, try it.
Nothing day like Ash Foam. Enjoy full body support and unparalleled comfort for a restful sleep.
Don't forget your keys.
Get the premium sleep experience with mattresses from Ash Foam. Visit any of our showrooms nationwide or at ashfoam.com.
Attention all farmers. Are you ready to take your crops to the next level? Introducing 3 effective organic composts that will revolutionize your farming practices. ACAP, KCAP and IRECOP brings to you the ultimate solution for your fertilizer needs. Introducing the ACAP Grade A, KCAP Equiafua Jinkwa, and the IRECOP with cocoa blends, palm blend and mulch. These are made from locally sourced municipal solid waste, and these are the perfect choice for sustainable farming. Join the organic revolution today. Boost your crop yield, improve soil health, and support sustainable farming practices. Choose ACAP, KCAP, and IRECOP organic compost for a greener and bountiful harvest. For your purchase and more information, call the numbers on your screen. Our products are endorsed by COCOBOD, Planting for Food and Jobs, and the Ministry of Food and Agriculture.
Hey, Nano Fair Wanya, one Casacasa, welcome, who say,
and you're my brother, Mr. Happiness, and Hame. Missy, who said Ghana Post, I am fast, reliable, and affordable. See, now saying, no, no, my any a Janya Kumami, D, and the command, or if I Ghana Post, we're dinning now. Any say was aswan masa kodidwa. Me dey call Ghana Post you. Wait, Kobi kakra. Ghana Post,
the most affordable delivery option for food and merchandise from Ghana to everywhere in the world. Connect with us today and see for yourself. Ghana Post, smart, secure deliveries.
Package, in less than 5 days, Ghana Post, they make life they big. Ghana Post will deliver to you wherever you are in the world.
This is Coastal Park, a well-demarcated gated community carved out to host your residential and commercial properties. With a minimum of 40,000 Ghana cedis, you too can own a piece of this serene site.
It's just 50 minutes drive from the Central University College, as well as just some 5 minutes drive from the Ningo Senior High School. More so, just in case you live somewhere in Adam and you want to take that excursion to many of those areas along the Volta estuary, this is the right property for you to invest in.
Great news from Estate Masters Limited. We're running a 10% discount promo on all sites to celebrate our 10th anniversary. Join in the celebration by becoming an Estate Master. Enjoy benefits such as free site visits throughout the duration, free indenture, and free site plan. Contact us for more information. Remember, T's and C's apply. Estate Masters Limited, your most preferred estate partner.
You the answer to my prayer. You with me everywhere. You're my angel, miracle. You're all I need tonight. Give me shelter from the rain. You breathe life in me again. You're my angel, miracle. You're all I need to know tonight.
Great music, excellent service, great company, and meats galore. The Alisa Friday Barbecue. It's fun on Fridays at Alisa.
Welcome back to Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. I have Elikem Kotoko, who is the Deputy National Organizer of the NDC, and also Mr. Kofi Tonto, who is an aide to the former Vice President Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bamia, and both of them have here been helping with the analysis of the big stories in the newspaper. So just in case you just joined us, that's what has been happening. We've been looking at the pushback or the reaction by NDC loyalists and NDC party supporters who are vehemently against the appointment of 3 persons, one at VRA, one at NCA, and then one at the Ghana Revenue Authority. And it's become a big matter, and all kinds of discussions or issues have come up in that discussion because it's something that happens to 2 political parties, so they can actually relate. And they are thinking that our politics would have to take critical look at some of these things. And if, again, these persons we're talking about, if you don't share in the ideological positioning of the political party, you have no business being there. Just move on. It is what it is. That's the kind of politics we do. I would wish that we rise above this type of politics, but it looks like it's going to take us a bit of time. So, Elikem, you were about to say something briefly.
I wanted to correct some 2 impressions.
But before you go ahead, there's a gentleman who has just sent me a message. He says he's a very good friend of yours, but he says, hello, Moro. I am now a huge fan of Good Morning Ghana. Your show is a great way to start the day with informative but also engaging and entertaining. Your thoughtful discussions and insightful questions make for a compelling watch. Please pass my regards to Elikem Kotoko. His friend Jabbar says hello.
Oh.
Keep up the fantastic work. You know him?
Yeah, I know him. I know him, Jabbar.
Okay.
Yes.
I see. Jabbar, big man. Anyway, so he says hello.
Yeah, that's good to hear from you, Jabbar.
Okay.
Great.
All right.
Yeah, I disagree strongly with my brother when he tried to insinuate that by asking where from this arrogance, the wickedness, vendetta, and all that. Kofi should be the last person saying this, especially anybody from the NPP stock. We all saw the leadership under President Akufo-Addo.
No, he has admitted.
No, but
he has admitted. He said there were some excesses.
Yes, there were excesses, and the excesses were actually again in excess. Yes, I'm stressing.
Extra large
I'm
excesses.
stressing to let you know the gravity of the excesses under President Akufo-Addo. The media were even were victimized and all of that. We can still recall a lot of this. You see, the interesting thing is that Ghanaians were very silent on these matters and decided at the polls to let you know that we disagree with this. The last time the margin was so small and you did your machinations. This time, let it be so wide that you cannot touch it. And so you cannot be the one to be talking about. President Akufo-Addo, President Mahama is not on any such missions to vindicate, to visit vendetta on anybody. And again, I was going to congratulate Chief of Staff for the letter he has written out, and I forgot. Then you raised it. I am so disappointed that you said you were a diplomat. And you want to tell me that when the transition teams met, they agreed that they should halt all recruitment. For instance, your government admitted that we're in the woods, etc. Are you saying that Moro sitting here wakes up to come to work only to have another gentleman, 2 or 3, standing by him, that they are also being recruited to do the same job when there's even no extra seat for them, etc.? Mind you, you have pushed this government, this economy, into junk status. You have pushed this economy into junk status under your economic messiah, Alhaji Bawumia. The mess on our hands is by his kind courtesy he's doing and the President Akufo-Addo. Then suddenly you are leaving power and you are issuing recruitment letters or appointment letters to so many people. With which budget to actually pay them? That is why the Chief of Staff has issued a directive to be sure that after the set date, no other recruitments were made because there was an agreement by both teams that you should not do any such. I had calls even yesterday that at VRA, at Bui Power, they were still issuing promotions and issuing appointment letters. When it has been agreed, they should stop. What is the essence of doing all this? And mind you, it is stated clearly that these things being done are in favor of known MPP persons. And you think we should play politics, and you want to rather be smart and say, these are Ghanaians being employed. Do you recall when, I nearly called him Professor, Osafo Mafu was being vetted and what he said about recruitment? He said the PERS cannot accommodate any further. And therefore, when he comes to office as senior minister, he will just have to go to the accountant and get the payroll, and all those who were recruited after that will be laid off nicely. These were his words. We agreed with him then. So where from this hypocrisy of cherry picking us and when we agreed with him?
Okay.
Because we even halted the processes the moment the transition teams agreed that they should be halted.
Right.
So it was halted. And so I find it to be ingenious to rather say that Chief of Staff Julius Deborah was subtly trying to do the same thing as people were doing physically. I disagree strongly. He is doing what is appropriate, what is administratively right, and in the right direction for Ghana.
So let's look
Moro,
at
I have to have a right to also. Very quickly. First of all,
please do that quickly. Please
our economy is not in junk status. Those lies that you churned out for months, you have won the election. Enough of the lies. Our economy is not in junk status. Our economy has turned around. Our economy is rebounding. And these are not my words. These are the words of IMF. That Ghana's economy has turned around.
To where?
So this whole attempt to label or categorize Ghana's economy as junk, so you can have a basis to do whatever. My brother, that status, please push it somewhere. Our economy is in great strides, is rebounding. Everything is on the positive trajectory. Come and build on what we have done. Number two, where did we agree to halt employment? It was Kwachu Fosu who came out and said that. And Fatima rebutted and said, no, nothing of such was agreed to at the transition team. In any case, what law? Tell me a law that says that we cannot do employment. When you were employing Dom level, did you or had you halted employment? 26 December, 1 week before he left office, you employed Dom Levo, who has now become your favorite angel, now part of the oral team.
But what was your position at the time?
Our position was that he was a Ghanaian. And that still remains our position.
No. And recall the court findings on him.
Oh, Moro, are you now going to be the one?
You were strongly against it.
Strongly against what?
Because you had problems with the timing of his appointment.
Moro, even the ruling made us know the president erred, right or wrong?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The ruling made us know the president erred.
Which ruling?
President Akufo-Addo.
Oh, you mean the Domolevo matter?
In the Domolevo matter.
Oh, no, that's even different. I mean, that's,
what ruling?
No, he's talking about the Domolevo's removal from office.
But that's different.
That's different. I'm talking about even the timing of his appointment.
Look, Moro,
the argument he raised at the time.
The argument who raised that?
The argument the MPP raised at the time, which is the timing. The why employ this man when you have just a few days to go
Moro,
out of
the
power?
bottom line is that, you see, I said that the excesses from the Akufo-Addo's government contributed to why Ghanaians felt that let's have a change. Okay? That's an established fact. So you don't come and repeat those excesses.
To that extent, I agree with you.
Yes. So let's know. And lastly, you see, Elikem, let me help you guys. For the state to employ somebody, it doesn't happen overnight. Let's take, for example, BOG. BOG, to give someone an appointment letter, can go up to a year of rigorous process before someone is handed an employment letter. So if BOG gives someone an employment letter in October or December, it means that the process probably started in April.
So did you know this when you came to power in 2017?
What are you talking about?
I don't know what Osafo Manfo said at the vetting, where he said clearly that they had also agreed at the transitions level that halt all this, so when we take over, we will look at it carefully and it will proceed. Put eyes on the matter does not mean you should bury it. No, just a moment. I will allow you. Put eyes on the matter does not mean you should bury it. Just put eyes on it. When we take over, we'll look at the public purse. Can we accommodate all of them? Now, let's use the BOG example. Okay, so it has taken 1 year. You now are convinced that this person needs to be recruited. Why don't you put it in your handing over note and leave it with the person who is taking over? Or leave it for the next government so that decisions are made. It is just about...
These are independent. First of all, last point that I want to make. In fact,
Because I want us to look at it.
In fact, one thing that the MPP accused, President Akufo-Addo of was his inability to let go a lot of people, party people deemed as NDC.
It's a lie.
Oh yes.
Sorry, it's a lie. We all saw the people
you go
who
into your
driven
party.
away.
No. Elikim, I'm talking about our party, our feeling, our sentiments. We felt that one thing that Akufo-Addo did, which hurt this party so badly, was his decision was to keep key NDC people in strategic places.
You see, Moro.
Give me an example.
Moro, why it cannot even be true is that after that, you won 2020 elections, right or not?
What has that got to do with it?
No, if it had affected you, it is the next election it was supposed
jobs,
to affect
not about elections. We are talking about jobs.
I think what Elikem wants to find out that where these concerns. Hold on. Were these concerns there even before 2020, or you mean post 2020?
I'm saying that these
because his argument is that if indeed the anger was there, why didn't Nana Akufo-Addo lose the 2020 election?
No, because the anger was within the MP.
But it was fully expressed in 2024.
No.
They waited 8 years.
You are distorting my thoughts.
I'm trying to make
there
it
is no
for
evidence that we lost the 2024 election because MP people felt we didn't.
NDC people had been kept in positions that they were not supposed to be kept there.
There are more. That could be a subset of the many challenges.
No, I don't disagree with you. I agree with you. I'm just saying, sir, you just said that one of the reasons that you believe may have contributed to the MPP's defeat in the last elections was as a result of a certain feeling that some NDC key people, key persons, were left in certain positions. They should have been sacked.
The point I am making is this: that I said one of the things we were very angry with Akufo-Addo with was the decision to keep NDC people or people we felt were NDC people in key strategic places. And that was the point I was
That's true. And you went ahead to say that it may have contributed to the party.
Moro, and he can give you a single example.
Oh, please.
Yeah. And that's why I asked whether you could give us an example of such a person who had no business being there, but was there. And so there were some MPP guys who were not happy that they got
No, I'm saying, I just even mentioned Domlevo. That some people even felt that Domlevo was Mohammed's person that he appointed. Take even Wittal from Shraj.
Yeah.
People felt that this guy was planted there by Mahama.
Right.
And he was kept there. And I was not talking about just even key positions. For us, we felt that some of the positions in various state institutions, it could be a director, it could be other people that we felt were planted there. Look, even people in certain national security positions, our people felt that, this person is a known NDC person. We kept him in a strategic place. And now Mahama has even appointed him as the boss of a major security agency. For a long time, our people felt like this guy is not with us. And we said it.
You see.
Okay. But that guy kept his job.
Just a quick one, Kofi. You see, for instance, on Ghana Web, 13th May 2017, Akufo-Addo sacks 13,000 public sector workers. Aside that, don't even forget a lot of the police recruits who were recruited and were given nearly 4 months training. You came and you sacked them all.
Listen.
Unless you don't remember all
Listen.
I am not telling you the state here.
Please.
But it needs to be nipped in the bud. The reason why the chief of staff is saying, we agreed on this. If there's any person who is genuinely to be... Let me tell you what happened. Look, Moro, you and I may even agree here. Maybe you disagree. Some of these people you were recruiting, they paid for the jobs. People paid 30,000, 20,000, 50,000 for jobs. And therefore, if you don't recruit them quickly, they will come start shouting that I paid 20,000 to this person, I paid. So you have to find ways to quickly smuggle them in. They will still talk anyways when the time comes. That is what's happening. Maybe you didn't do that. But those are some of the things that happened. Can I finish
my point?
Okay.
My point is this. Ghanaians have been employed. Unless you have evidence that those who were employed, one, are not qualified for the roles they were employed for. Two, the processes by which they were employed
or
were illegal or flawed. Once you can establish
Aside
some
that,
degree
you
of
add
illegalities, what's the
maybe
three?
they were not needed.
First of all,
yes.
When it comes to company and
Duplication
rationalization, please, when it comes to companies and rationalization, it doesn't lie in the pocket of the chief of staff. It lies in the pocket of the technical people to determine what they need. You have promised more jobs. Okay? So you have to come in and really look at, let the technical people give you evidence to say that, or find contrary evidence that shows that the positions were created arbitrary. There were no need for it.
So you don't know what information he has.
What
based
information
on which
does he have?
What
information does he have aside from you and your NDC people publicly saying that they were hired and they have to be let go? What information do you have? You don't have any information. You don't have any information. You just want to engage in vengeance. You just want to engage in revenge, and that is not why Ghanaians voted for you.
I am telling you, even policemen who were recruited and 4 months training, even in weapons handling.
Yes.
You might
so Elikem, if you have evidence that the processes were not proper, then you have a case.
Let's look at this story.
Why do you want to target people? Look,
let's look at this.
Moro, they are targeting people.
What is the targeting people in?
They are targeting people.
Let's make progress.
And that's not what governance is about.
Let's make progress. We spent a lot of time on this matter. Let's make. I beg you, Elikem. I beg you. Let's look at this. So, if you look at in the Daily Statesman today, page 3. The MPP presser that they held yesterday has been captured here in the newspaper. Now, it says the New Patriotic Party has accused the leadership of the governing NDC, led by President John Dramani Mahama, of fostering and condoning violent activities in the aftermath of the December 17 general elections. At a press conference held at the MPP headquarters in Asalam, Accra yesterday, the party director of communication, Richard Ahiagba, claimed that the NDC leadership, led by President John Dramani Mahama, stood by as the supporters engaged in violent acts against individuals, institutions, and private entities across the country. Mr. Nyagba noted that the MPs accepted its electoral defeat with dignity, congratulating President Mahama on the victory and working to ensure a smooth and historic transfer of power on January 7, 2025. Now, despite the goodwill, he alleges that the NDC responded with aggression, allowing its members to take the law into their own hands and terrorize Ghanaians. And he gives a litany of examples, or a plethora of examples, to buttress the point of the argument you've just made. So, for instance, they said immediately after the election, NDC supporters attacked offices of the Electoral Commission. That's number 1. They stormed police stations in attempt to false declarations. Number 2. They talk about vandalizing New Job in South Municipal Assembly, forcibly taking over and locked the premises at Tema Oil Refinery, disrupted operations at Cocoa Board offices, invaded the Ministry of Energy, setting police stations on fire in Ejura and Atebubu, storming the Eastern Regional Office of institutions such as National Health Insurance Authority, the National Services Secretariat, School Feeding Program, TVET facilities, and National Lottery Authority. And then the famous or infamous attack on Anglo Gold Ashanti mine in Obuasi, claiming it demonstrated a new level of violence that targeted private companies. Now, Kofi, why the NDC is already, the MPP is already, you're on public record to have stated your positions on this matter ever since some of these incidents happened, but you chose to do another presser to highlight or to rehash the same issues again. What's happening?
See, last or early this week,
okay,
I was on one of the major platforms in this country.
Okay, the media platform.
One of the media platforms, and it was evidently clear that the media house had no interest discussing the Obuasi issue. In fact, that media house led the onslaught when it had to do with Galamsey issues and illegal mining. In fact, that media house had journalists who mounted platforms and called for such illegalities to occur. But interestingly, they took absolutely no interest in discussing the matter. So, and I remember when the incident happened, we saw some media houses whitewashing the issue and not stating the issues as factually as they should. They were whitewashing the issue. For us, we have seen the silence of several civil society organizations and other international organizations who in the past would have taken Akufo-Addo on so well. They would have literally called him names and said things to say or to suggest the Akufo-Addo's government is a tyranny and blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, Christian groups, organizations, everybody, those who marched, the young people who said that we should fix the country, the young people who mounted platforms and went on the streets and said that we should stop illegal mining, they have all gone quiet. It begs the question, really, are we interested in solving the problem? Or were we interested in pushing out a particular government?
Both.
Look.
Both.
How is it both?
You were interested in pushing a certain government out and also in fixing the problem.
Yeah, that's why you were behind them.
So I'm telling you.
That's why your party was behind them.
Our party was also
okay, sure.
on
Good,
the same trajectory.
Good, you have endorsed it.
But we are Ghanaians and we also...
your chance.
Kofi is unbelievable. We say he has endorsed it.
I'm happy him know that we were also opposed.
Moro, you see, here is the thing.
Right.
So when I raised the issue,
okay,
it became topical. The video went viral. People started discussing, look, what's happening? This is on the back of other atrocities and hooliganism that have engulfed this country to the silence of relevant agencies. Do you know, just 2 days ago, Omari Wade, our third vice chairman, national vice chairman, NDC boys took his car from a mechanic shop, a Lexus. That's a government vehicle. Till now, he's struggling to get his car. So why wouldn't we do this press conference? We need to remind the nation, and in particular, John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency, that he was given a mandate to fix our problems, not to create more. Look, the Obuasi incident. There was a very careful attempt to whitewash it. The first media stories that came said that small and illegal miners have invaded Anglo-Gold. But that's not what happened. Those who invaded Anglo-Gold were NDC thugs.
But if you watch the sorry for rudely interrupting. When you read the statements that have been issued by both the Ghana Armed Forces, Anglo-Gold Ashanti, none of them mentioned NDC thugs. All of them were talking about miners, in some cases illegal miners. So
I actually applaud Ghana Armed Forces for not mentioning
that they were NDC
because they are a state institution that must present itself so.
And then Anglo-Gold Ashanti?
Anglo-Gold Ashanti must equally do that. Okay. But the media houses, you see, when it comes to these things, you have to look at sentiments. If Ghana Armed Forces go to say NDC, they will be put in a political class.
They'll be pigeonholed.
Exactly. It's not the smartest thing to do. But a media house has an obligation to go there and report and not necessarily massage anything. But Ghana Armed Forces have an obligation to massage for the state cohesion, for national cohesion. Because as a state institution, they cannot be seen to be biased, even if they are stating the truth. And that's why they have to avoid it.
So where did you get your evidence?
I'll give you. I have my evidence because initially, that was the impression created. Until Joseph Yamid went to Obuasi and met with the young people and said, please, calm down. And I applaud Joseph Yamin for that. He said, please, calm down. don't retaliate. We will seek justice for our boys. The NDC chairman in the constituency, equally in a video, said, please don't retaliate. We'll seek justice for our boys. The NDC vice chairman in the constituency was standing next to a police officer and said, you know what, this was not right. We are not happy. We'll talk to the other young people not to engage in such behavior anymore. The NDC Obuasi West PC was also there. So all of them corroborated the fact that those who have been killed were their boys. So it is not in question anymore. The issue of who they are or who they were because they are deceased, it's no longer in question.
But this is where I have a difficulty, and help me.
Please
help me deal with this difficulty. The guys who invaded the Obuasi place were more than 60.
Okay.
At least per what our reporters on the ground are telling us. In fact, when you even read the Obuasi, the Ashanti, the Anglo-Gold Ashanti report, about more than 60 of them. The guys who have been killed, confirmed, 6.
No, right now I'm hearing 11.
11, okay.
Even a report from your own media house.
11, good. But, and then the guys who Joseph Yamin and the Obuasi West PC and so on were interacting with were not even more than 20. So question is that, are we saying that all the 60, even if we're to proceed with the assumption that all the 11 who were killed, no, in fact, yes, it's 11 because 6 were killed instantly, and then I think about 4 or 5 or so were in critical conditions. So I want to believe that the 5 who were in critical conditions passed on, and so that makes it 11. But I'm saying that, are we saying that because the 6 who have died, whom the NDC in Ashanti region have actually accepted and have confirmed that these are their people, does that by extension mean that all the 60 who were there, because some of them fled, remember, they ran away. Does that mean that all the 60 are all NDC people?
First of all,
do you get a point? Do you get my question?
First of all, what business does an MPP person have to go with an NDC person into somebody's property illegally?
No, you're not getting my question.
Okay.
The question I have, you see, the over 60 people who went there were not led by maybe Asedun Kitia or say Pablo.
But let's do random.
Even the regional executives.
Let's do random sampling.
Yes. Okay.
60 people go somewhere.
Yes.
And out of the 60, 6 die instantly.
4 or 5 in
5 die later.
Yes.
11.
Yes.
And all of them are NDC.
If the guys who died.
Yes. All of them are NDC.
Yes.
Even if you do random sampling, if there were other non-NDC people, there was a likelihood that some of them wouldn't have been NDC. If you get my point.
Exactly.
So, no, I'm saying that 11 people have died.
Yes.
The 11 people who have died, we have indeed confirmed that they were NDC young people.
Yes.
And there were a total of 60. So if there were a total of 60, then the 11 people who have died couldn't all have been NDC. There could have been any other person involved. Why were all the 11 NDC people?
Yeah, but I get it. But I'm saying that the fact that all the 11 were NDC does not mean that by extension, all the 60 are NDC people.
But the probability that they were...
Yes, but that's a different argument.
No, my point
is... There's a difference between possibility, probability, and certainty. If you see, initially your argument was that all the 60 were NDC. And I'm saying, and I asked you why. You said because the people who died are NDC.
Yeah.
So for you, because the six who died are NDC, by extension, almost all the guys who went there were NDC.
Yeah,
and you buttressed.
Yeah.
You buttressed your point with the interaction that Joseph Yamin, the Obuasi West MP, the vice chair had with the guys who were there. So for you, that was a testimony of the fact that all 60 were NDC people. And I'm saying that kind of argument is a bit problematic.
No, but it's not problematic
because the fact that there's an interaction with NDC leadership there with some of the guys, and also the fact that the guys who died are NDC people, does not necessarily mean that all the 60 who went there are all NDC.
Okay.
And that is a possibility. Said there were other guys who were not even non-partisan.
Okay, so my point is...
That's the point I'm making.
No, my point is that 60 people went to a location.
Yes, 11 died.
11 of them have died.
Yes.
Those 11 people belong to one group.
Yes.
You are saying that the remaining 49
Yes.
could be any other person and not necessarily NDC.
That's the point
I get your point. And I'm saying that could they be MPP?
They could have been PNC. They could have been non-partisan.
But you see,
that's the point I'm making.
You see, the point I'm also making to you is that who led the onslaught? Let's even take your argument without admitting. Who led the onslaught? Who emboldened them? What was the basis for doing that? Why would a young man in Obuasi, who for all these years has never engaged in such an activity, all of a sudden engage in that activity post-elections?
But you see, Kofi, there's a difference between this may have been instigated by some NDC people. There's a difference between making the argument that the incident was instigated by some NDC guys who live in Obuasi. There's a difference between that and all the guys who went there are NDC. You see, that's the challenge that I have.
My brother.
If you say it was instigated by the NDC guys, I can grant you that.
My brother, if the debate is about who went there and their party, etc.
Yeah.
The argument we are making here is about a decision of a political party to engage in acts of thuggery, which has led to the death of many. The issue of who is what, for me, is a non-starter. The point of the matter here is that these people were led on by a political party, and that has been confirmed. So I don't get the point of who the other people were. All the remaining 49 could have been NDC. The remaining 49 could have been a mixture of NDC and other young people. But the bottom line is that they were NDC people. Now let me finish my point. If in this country today, as an MPP person, I incite young people in this country, I'm saying this just for hypothetical purposes, and young people march on the streets, followed by my NPP young people, and we engage in an onslaught, and there are atrocities. Who would you blame for such atrocity? Will it matter whether the remaining people were MPP? The bottom line is that there was somebody who is an MPP person with MPP group who engaged in an illegality that caused the onslaught. Wars are not created necessarily by the citizens. Wars are sometimes engineered by individuals. So why must we even care about the remaining people? The bottom line is that those people were NDC people. And we have evidence.
All I was trying to do was to get us to be factual with the analysis. That's all.
Which part have I not been factual?
No, I'm saying that's factual in the sense that to say that all the guys who went there were NDC was going to be a bit problematic because we don't even have any evidence. The only evidence we have is the 11 who have died. That's all I'm trying to say. But if you're saying that, if your argument is that look, it is not even material to the discussion we're having, even if it was just 11 NDC
it is not
people,
material. Number one, because the atrocity that happened, the onslaught was led by a group of people who were promised that they can go and mine. Have you seen the video where their women's organizer? See, do you know what is even more interesting? The time that they were on the streets campaigning against illegal mining, they were behind closed doors telling their people that when they win, they can go back and mine. The lady said, we also want to go and do galamsey. In the video, that's the hypocrisy. When they were on the streets charging Akufo-Addo, stop galamsey, they were indoors plotting that when they win, they will pick up their materials.
Do you still have this video?
I have the video. I can share it with your production.
Yeah, please send it
to play it. Yes,
I want us to play this video for the public to see, and I hope it's a recent video. Elikam, do you have that video?
Which one?
Have you seen it? The one he's talking about.
I'm sending it to
I can share same with you. Do you recall the Western Regional Minister the deputy lands minister, and one of their parliamentary candidates, I think,
Western Regional, it was
Kobe, Ernest Frimpong or Ernest Achampong.
Yes.
Who went around telling Galamseyers that Operation Halt has been abolished, all what have stopped, and they should go ahead and mine. If anybody gets a problem, they should come to them. They will make sure they deal with them. They were creating a WhatsApp platform so that they raise flags. Let's stop this. Kofi is finding it so difficult to defend anything, and I think I understand him.
He's sending me the video.
And he probably is not understanding the reason why they got 38% at the polls the last time.
Yeah.
The last time I checked, he was saying that the economy it's not more junk status, but it's a rebound. I'm not aware since when IMF started ratings known as rebound. What is actually rebound? What rating are you? What rating have you gotten us into now? So I am not confused. But you see, do you recall Ayawaso?
Yeah.
Techiman, Ablekuma Central, and all the killings? President Nana-Addo never spoke on these things. President Nana-Addo never spoke on this. And you see, they didn't only visit this on NDC people. If you recall vividly, even in the Ashanti region, where Kumasi, they entered a magistrate court to manhandle a pregnant judge, amongst other things. They assaulted a police officer at the flag seat of government. Come on, spare us this sermon. Your hands are so filthy and dirty when it comes to hooliganism and all these things. Mind you, I heard him also saying that Omari Wadier's vehicle was seized from the mechanic shop. He's very lucky. His was not taken from his house. There's a certain gentleman called Godwin Akogan, the NDC's deputy communications officer. In 2017, his Toyota Corolla that was registered in 2017 in his name was taken from him in his house. Up till date, it has not been given to him. So when you accept a dose of your own medicine, I think it would be best to sit, reflect, and sometimes not even talk about it, but pray that these measures, these things do not continue. I will not endorse it anyway. But if you are being served a dose of your own medicine, it makes you know how it feels. You get it? That is why I'm giving you an example. Is Omari Wadier more human with blood in him than Akogan, who also has blood in him? Akogan is a deputy communications officer. Till date, as we speak, he has not gotten his car. 8 years. You are talking about just 1 week and he has not gotten his car. He should wait for probably the next 20 years. He will also definitely get it back. But a tit for tat will not be. It won't augur well for us.
But Elikem, when I heard the president in opposition, that's President John Dramani Mahama, he kept touting about we moving away from what we've been doing for a very long time.
Exactly.
And that he says, let's build the Ghana we want. And hence the talk about reset.
Yes, I understand.
So when you say this, doesn't that go against...
So let me tell you, whoever had gone in for Omari Wadier's car, we do not even know. But those who went for Akogan's car are state. As we speak, he's even in court fighting that matter. You see the difference? It's the state that went in to seize his car. A car that is personally his, that he registered in 2017. Your government went in there in Rambo style, invaded his home, and took possession of the vehicle from him in his house. 8 years down the lane. Multiply 365 by 8. That is the number of days he's actually lost his car, the value and its use, etc. Then suddenly you are saying your third vice. Is your third vice having blood that is thicker and better than Akogan? And in his case, it is not the state that has gone in. It is probably some rowdy boys. As to whether he even staged it himself to make the NDC look black, we do not even know. Because we have not sanctioned any such thing. It is easier for anybody to sit here and just say this has happened, that has happened. Look, one of the most insensitive governments we ever had was your regime, especially under President Akufo-Addo. You remember the Takrady missing girls, what he did? When he even drove past their town and went to disco until somebody drew his attention and he came back. And when Tiwa also was telling us that they have hope, they have found the girls, later to tell us that he was only giving us hope and she was promoted by Akufo-Addo. Do you know the meaning of all these things in administration? That is why I'm telling you, if you are aware of the Ablekuma Central and Techiman killings, Ayawaso here, even recently, are you aware, I'm not in prayer, I'm told, fired a weapon at somebody's leg? Hawa Kumsen, is it Hawa Kumsen? The Rambo lady over there? Don't pretend you don't know this. It is what makes me so passionate when I have to speak about this, is because as a young person, if something deserves to be condemned, let's condemn it and say it right there. Look, the greatest problem of Ghana now is the teeming youth unemployment, and that is what President Mahama intends to solve. But in solving the problem, you don't say that because President Mahama says he will create a 24-hour economy, there's going to be the big push, there's going to be this. You have seen an opportunity that there's going to be a lot of jobs. So let's recruit all our people and many people into it. Yes, they are Ghanaians. You think we will allow you to set up spies who will come and report to you? There's a gentleman who has sent me a message. He said I should even read it out. He paid money for job. He said his name is Jabri. He said I should even mention his name. Look, a lot of things went in your government. Maybe you are not even aware. I would ask that maybe this is the time for more reflection.
The gentleman just told you that he engaged in corruption.
Yes, he said so. You can decide to.
I see.
You see, if they take you, the person also.
You see, Alikem, the point I want to make is that the what he told you is an illegality.
So let me tell you this.
And the laws are clear.
So let me tell you
he doesn't have a moral right to send you something to say read. When he engaged in an illegality.
When there's teeming unemployment and the people are desperate to survive, so they will do anything and everything to survive. So people feel that it is even justified to pay for a job under your regime. People feel it is justified to even pay under your regime. Do you know that it is known out there that even the IGP, for instance, people said he was giving slots to people who were selling it. Some in the media, some known personalities in Ghana here. The reason why some are even defending him and amongst all other things. I am telling you things that are happening.
IGP gave slots to who?
Those are allegations out there on the streets.
I
am telling you the extent of the rot.
No, Elikem, I beg you.
Look.
No, Elikem, I beg you.
Go ahead.
I beg you.
Okay. You see?
I beg you. You know, the Good Morning Ghana platform is a very big platform, and it's a very reputable platform. And I think that in as much as we are allowed to speak our minds and express our opinions uninhibited, I think that certain statements we have to not even make them at all. I have a lot of respect for you, and just as Kofi, and I know that you guys don't dabble in this kinds of hearsays. I'll beg you. I know you like to deal with fact. The IGP matter, if you can withdraw it, because it is just hearsay. I'll beg you, if you can just withdraw.
So let me put on your. Let me state on your platform here. I withdraw that, but frankly, I have evidence even to that effect, which I'll bring to your platform again to submit.
When you do,
I'll do that. Yes, because from the sources that I spoke to, I saw evidence, and I'll bring that here to your platform.
Please do. I beg you.
And you see,
if you do,
my concern is that why should I be worried about a young person who is being employed, especially that he's a Ghanaian?
Right.
Never should I have any worry. But when I read to you, 13,000 public sector workers have been sacked. People who were even recruited into the police, who went through training 4 months and were taken through weapons handling. I have been attacked by armed robbers under your regime. They nearly cut off my head. I don't know if it's one of those people.
That's a coup
No, I'm telling you, I don't know if it is one of the people who now need to survive.
We are grateful for your life, but why are you citing that?
Thank you.
Why do you like propaganda like that?
It's
Why
propaganda.
are you citing that?
Kofi, you listen. So when a Ghanaian out there is unemployed and hears of the fact that if you pay 20,000, you can get recruitment into the immigration, it is wrong. But in the eye of the person at that moment, it is the right thing to do. Because you have created a certain system that justifies that act.
No, that's wrong. And
that is why I'm telling you. You see, for instance, when you said the economy is not in junk status, it's a rebound. What is the rating of rebound? I don't know any rating known as rebound.
It's a fact.
No, so where are we now?
Right.
But you look at indicators.
So the indicator says our rating is what?
Trending positively. So, that's what we say.
So the rating is positive.
The economy is rebounding.
So what is the rating now? From junk, where are we? Are we at F or we are G or B or C?
Do you want me to help you?
Please do.
Okay.
I just want to know the rating.
See, my brother, we experience, this is not necessarily a hyperinflation, but for argument's sake, we experience a hyperinflation at 54%. As I speak to you, the inflation has more than halved to about 23%. Okay? When you look at growth rate, in the midst of the quagmire, one expected that the economy will
you know the reason why I will not encourage this, because we can have a whole conversation about the state of our economy.
Yes.
Because there are many metrics.
Of course.
You know, the point is that there are many things that we're going to look at if we're going to look at the economy. But what I want to say in conclusion, even as we're wrapping up, because we have just 2 minutes to wrap up, unfortunately. Time is not our best friend.
I think
time is not our best
12
friend.
minutes you meant.
Yes. Let's just say we can grant another
2 minutes.
Just 5 minutes. 2 minutes each
to finish this one. Okay.
You see, because at the end of the day, we must be careful. We can talk about economics and wax all lyrical about macroeconomic indicators with micro and macro, but at the end of the day, It's about how people feel in their pockets that really matters. And when people are queuing to go and vote, the person doesn't have the macroeconomic indicators at the back of their minds. Yeah. It's what the quality of the person's life is what actually informs how they vote. I fully agree with you. Exactly. So I beg you, we can have, then maybe the next time you guys come here, we can have a whole discussion when of course, based on what the newspaper report is, on the state of the economy. Otherwise, we're going to spend time, and the truth of the matter, we don't have all day.
Lastly,
yes,
the reason why these things, as immoral, the reason why these things are pertinent is because they are the basis for investment into the economy.
I agree.
Which investment will affect the pocket.
I agree with you.
So if
these investors, look, these investors, they have consultants. They know the figures and the numbers. In fact, some of them live here.
Of course.
So they have a better and a deeper appreciation of the issues than you and I. And they are, to all intents and purposes, not necessarily politicians who will spin and figures and data and so on. So I beg you, we'll find time and talk about that. But
let him finish.
Yes, I want you to do in conclusion, 2 minutes, two minutes each, so that we can end the program.
Okay, he hasn't told me the rating anyways, but that's okay.
But I was telling you.
I don't know which rating.
No, we haven't. No, let's
that's okay.
That's okay.
Well, conclusion. I expected my brother to show sympathy and sensitivity towards those who had passed. But he was just okay to want to jump in that they are NDC. Granted they are NDC, does anyone deserve to lose his or her life under any such circumstance, even if what they did was wrong? Mind you, if out of 60 people you have identified even 11 as NDC, which I am not aware anyways, I must state frankly, I am not aware they are NDC.
Oh, you are the national organizer?
Yes, I'm not aware.
Organizer.
And so, however, and you think it is justified to conclude that the rest are also NDC, fine. But do you think that it deserves that magnitude of force that met them? I would extend my commiserations.
Why are you trying to do this emotional argument?
I will extend my commiserations.
No, what you are doing is not right. You see, this guy is my brother. But you see how he's trying to do an emotional argument this morning?
Are you sure?
What are you trying to do?
I'm extending my commiserations to the bereaved family.
The whole time, you have not done that.
I never had the opportunity to be on air.
Oh, you've never had the opportunity whole time?
To be on air, so I'll do this here.
But you do a lot on your Facebook. You always debate me on your Facebook.
We've always debated.
You couldn't commentate on your Facebook.
I did as well. I did as well. So I must use this opportunity
let's get back. Let's get back on track.
To commiserate with them.
Let's back.
Is this my last?
You didn't see the propaganda he was trying to do.
Moro, so this is my last.
Let's get back on track. I beg you, let's get back on track.
Yes. So my commiserations to them. Okay. To the Ghanaian who is watching us, thank you for reposing that confidence in His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and Professor Jane Nana Ofokwajiman and the NDC at large. Indeed, it was a wide gap, very telling and convincing. That tells what the Ghanaian want. They believe in the message that President Mahama and the NDC took out to them and trust that he will deliver. He has begun and he's already delivering. He told you he will appoint all his ministers, his cabinet ministers in 2 weeks. He has done so as we speak now. He said he will stick to 60 ministers. He is doing so as we speak now. He is also making sure that within the first 120 days, the nuisance taxes and certain things that he intends to do, he will deliver on them. Okay. One by one, over 140 infrastructure-related or development programs were promised in our manifesto. He intends to make sure he does every one, and we will be outlining them one after the other. Thank you.
Okay. Kofi.
You see, if there is anybody who cares about the well-being of our people and the fact that this nation ought to move on, not just for peace and stability's sake, but for the economic well-being of the people, then it is Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Right.
Because at the time that Ghanaians felt that there was going to be a pushback, he said, no, I concede.
Okay.
And I say that my brother has won decisively. Yes. And then he engaged the pastors. And they asked him, why were you so gracious? I'm wrapping up. He said, for the economic well-being of this nation. So that young people can have jobs. And that is why when I sat here, I said I want Mahama to succeed.
All right.
Because when he succeeds, it is good for all of us. So don't try that propaganda. We want the nation to succeed. So don't try that propaganda, my brother.
Kofi Tonto is aide to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and
are you still aide to him?
Mr. Elikem Kotoko is. Oh, sorry. Our time is up. Sorry. Mr. Elikem Kotoko is the Deputy National Organizer of the NDC.
He does going to get a CEO
guys, let me thank you very much for.
You are going to be a CEO.
Kofi.
You are talking about my issue.
Kofi is speaking of some filler that you and I don't have.
I don't know what he knows that I don't know.
Thanks for watching Good Morning Ghana. But let me just do this, just 2 seconds, I beg you. Let me just do. Alasan from Tema says that more of the greatest of respect, the NPP are so insensitive. The Obuasi incident must not be politicized. Lives have been lost instead of the NPP rep to condemn the act by the military and sympathizing with the bereaved families who are rather doing politics with such a sensitive matter. President Mahama has given a directive for all investigations, which is the right way to go as the commander of the Ghana Armed Forces. Under the NP administration, invisible forces stormed the court to beat up judges and so on and so forth. Alasan, I can't read all your messages, it's just too long. Anyway, so my name is Awudu Moro. Thank you very much for watching Good Morning Ghana. I hope you enjoyed it. And I also want to say Juma Mubarak to our Muslim brothers and sisters. Salamu alaikum. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Again.
Hello, thank you for calling MTN.
This is Jerry, Jolly J for short.
How may I help?
I'm not happy with you guys at all. You've been giving Bongo gifts all the time.
Who is Bongo?
Oh, Bongo, my friend. He purchased in my room.
Oh.
You're giving free gifts, but I don't.
That's MTN rewards, sir. Talk, text, browse, and more, and you get to redeem free call time or data by simply dialing *550#. And on Fridays, you can even get extra special rewards like food vouchers, shopping discounts, and much more.
Papa didn't tell me anything. Would you like to know how I got the name Jolly J?
That won't be necessary, Mr. Jolly. Calling customer care service doesn't give you points.
I'm gonna call my mom. I'll call my grandma. I'll call my ex. That girl can talk, Papa. Hello, Mama. So what's the topic for today?
MTN. Attention all farmers. Are you ready to take your crops to the next level? Introducing 3 effective organic composts that will revolutionize your farming practices. ACAP, KCAP and IRCOP brings to you the ultimate solution for your fertilizer needs. Introducing the ACAP Grade A, KCAP Equiafua Jinkwa, and the IRCOP with cocoa blends, palm blend and mulch. These are made from locally sourced municipal solid waste, and these are the perfect choice for sustainable farming. Join the organic revolution today. Boost your crop yield, improve soil health, and support sustainable farming practices. Choose ACAP, KCAP, and IRCOP organic compost for a greener and bountiful harvest. For your purchase and more information, call the numbers on your screen. Our products are endorsed by COCOBOD, Planting for Food and Jobs, and the Ministry of Food and Agriculture.
This is Coastal Park, a well-demarcated gated community carved out to host your residential and commercial properties. With a minimum of 40,000 Ghana cedis, you too can own a piece of the serene site.
It's just 50 minutes drive from the Central University College, as well as just some 5 minutes drive from the Ningo Senior High School. More so, just in case you live somewhere in Adam and you want to take that excursion to many of those areas along the Volta estuary, this is the right property for you to invest in.
Great news from Estate Masters Limited. We're running a 10% discount promo on all sites to celebrate our 10th year anniversary. Join in the celebration by becoming an Estate Master. Enjoy benefits such as free site visits throughout the duration, free indenture, and free site plan. Contact us for more information. Remember, T's and C's apply. Estate Masters Limited, your most preferred estate partner.
You say I dey rush me martini
Eti Dr. Lucky eba betna se na ya share ensem o season 1 eba ye na ye di ho nkomo Vanessa wa
obi a onu obi a wa wasa de na ba kumase ya na wasa beja no wo na wasa ko ware
utim se no ho aye fe papa na wo mi wa ha nyin se na nyin se
pacha 7
obi a buy e wo born amani o kan say ye ne dia no afi de o say ye ne dia and now so Richard and so e wa ha
drug no enye ede ba eseniama life
for rehabilitation dey ko see no Richard eba be chiri
only one person na ko rehab one harding one fafo na mfre ni here ska ni here we do na mo di bibia brand.
More than 80% of global trade is carried by sea. Most of the products we consume daily travel through ports, making them a key link in the global supply chain. The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority is committed to ensuring the enhancement, resilience and sustainability of port infrastructure and maritime trade. Get to know which vessel is bringing your goods, how much duty you are required to pay and how quickly you can clear your goods from the ports of Ghana. We ask the relevant questions and elicit responses from the appropriate authorities. We interact with you via our social media platforms and put your queries across to the expert. Iron Port shows this and every Sunday live on Metro TV at 5:30 p.m. Iron Port is proudly brought to you by and powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Iron Port, transparency in doing business and building nation.
Agree with me that a lot of people